So one thing I want to share, last time we had studied chapter, last time 1.2 I thought. We had completed 1.2 Dhaniya Sutta. Right. So chapter 1.3 I have left because it deals with primarily it's called Bhagavisana Sutta. Bhagavisana means rhinoceros, gander. It has a tendency to live alone in a forest. So this whole chapter deals with the advantages of living alone for monks. मैंने सोचा आप लोगों को शायद वैलिड नहीं है, हम सब लोगों के लिए तो उसको छोड़ दिया. It basically talks of that. The advantages of living in a isolated place, not interacting with anybody, not talking to that point. So I thought it may not be really valid for all of us. So then this next chapter I have started, Asi Bhargava Sutta. It's quite इंटरेस्टिंग. तो उसके अंदर जो वर्सेस है बस मैंने वही ले लिया, बाकी छोड़ दिया. मैंने कहा पाली पढ़ने में आपको थोड़ा वो नहीं होता है. So I'll just tell you the story. It's about, I think we have heard about it from, I don't know. So भगवान जवाब देते हैं, I too Brahmin plow and sow, and having plowed and sown I eat. कहता है I don't see anything, I don't see your yoke, I don't see your plow, I don't see plowshare, and yet you say this that I plow and sow. So then there are these 5 big verses which I have put down here. Very, very apt and worth reflection. The first one I'll read out, then you can read. Kasako patijanasi naja passamate kasing kasinno puchito bruhi yatha janem te kasing. Kasako pati, kasaka matlab plowman, a farmer. You are saying that I am a farmer. Nacha passamate kasing, but I don't see you plowing. Kasinno puchito bruhi, when I asked about your brewing, please tell yatha janem te kasing, so that I know in what a manner, in such a manner that I may know it. So please reply to us कि तुम कौन सी plowing करते हो. That's the question he asks. Then there are 4 verses in which he replies. So you have to read.
साधा विजम सदा विजम तपो भूति पन्ना में युगनान जलम गिरी ईसा मानो युक्तम सती में फला पंचम.
श्रद्धा बीजम, श्रद्धा जो है वो बीज है जो मैं शो करता हूँ। तपो उठी, तप जो है मेरी जो अपने को सेल्फ कंट्रोल है, इट इज लाइक रेन, उठी है ना रेन। कन्या में, कन्या मतलब मेरी जो विजडम है, युगंग अलंग, युगंग मतलब जोड़ने वाला, जो योग और फ्लो को जोड़ता है। ईवी ईसा मनोयोगम, जो ईवी है जो मतलब मॉडेस्टी है, that is like a pole of the plow, and the mind is like the tie which ties them together. सती में फला पाचनम, फला पाचनम, पाचनम जो गोड होती है स्टिक, और फला है plowshare. So that is the mindfulness is my plowshare and the goad. Let's read all of that, then we'll be able to appreciate and discuss it.
कायागुप्तो वचीगुप्तो आहारे उदारयतो सच्चं करोमि निदानं सोरचं मे प्रमोचनम्।
काया गुप्तो, गुप्तो मतलब ना गार्ड करना, काया मतलब बॉडीली एक्शन जो है वो मेरे संयम में, संयम किए हुए। वाची गुप्तो, वचन जो है बोलना जो है, सो माई बॉडीली एक्शन आर वेल गार्डेड, माई स्पीच इज वेल गार्डेड। आहारे उदरोयतो, आहार भी मैं उतना ही खाता हूँ जितना पेट के लिए जरूरत होता है। आई हैव ए मॉडरेशन इन फूड ऑल्सो। सच्चम करोमि निदानम, तो मेरा सत्य जो है इट इज लाइक समथिंग विच इज कट अवे ऑल द वीड्स, तो जो भ्रम वगैरह है वो सारे सत्य ने काट दिए हैं। सोरचम में प्रमोचनम, सोरच जो है इट मीन्स जेंटलनेस, दैट जेंटलनेस इज एक्चुअली माई डिलीवरेंस। नेक्स्ट
वीर्यम,
वीर्यम,
वीर्यम में दुराधोर्यम योगक्षेमा
अविवाहनम,
आदिवाहनम गच्छति अनिवर्तं यथा गत्वा न सोचति।
वीर्यम, वीर्यम एफर्ट है, में धुराधोर्यम, धुराधोर्यम, धुरा होता है बर्डन, धोर्यम खींचने वाला, जो बर्डन खींचता है, ऑक्स होता है ना क्लब में, तो जो वीर्य है वो मेरा ऑक्स है। योग क्षेमम अधिवरणम, योग क्षेमम प्रोटेक्शन, योग क्षेमम होता है प्रोटेक्शन इन द अल्टीमेट सेंस। अधिवरणम कैरीज मी देयर, तो दिस ऑक्स जो है ये मेरा जो एफर्ट है, इट कैरीज मी टू दी गच्छति अनिवित्तांतम, ऐसी जगह ले जाता है जहां से कि वापस नहीं आ सकते। यथा गंतवा न सोचती, जहां जाने के पर कोई शोक नहीं होता, कोई भी ग्रीफ नहीं हो जाएगा। तो लास्ट वन आई रीड आउट। एवमेषा कसी कत्था सा होती अमतप फला, एतम कसिम कसित्वान संभ दुखापमुच्यते। एवमासी कसी कत्था, सो इन दिस वे द प्लॉइंग इज डन। सा होती, जिसका फल जो होता है इमॉर्टैलिटी, अमृत का फल है। एतम कसिम कसित्वाना, इस कसी को, इस फ्लो को फ्लोइंग करने से सब दुखापमुच्यते, सारे दुखों से मुक्ति हो जाती है। सो दिस इज दिस response to the flowing. It's a very famous simile used to, and you know one word use करते हैं तो he has very very apt words in. The seed is the श्रद्धा, श्रद्धा नहीं है तो उसके बगैर कुछ नहीं होने वाला है, सीड ही नहीं बैठेगा। And the self control is like the rain which keeps on nurturing it, उसको सींचती रहती है श्रद्धा में। सेल्फ कंट्रोल नहीं हुआ तो इधर उधर भटक जाएगा बंदा, श्रद्धा भी खत्म हो जाएगी। देन विजडम इज योग एंड फ्लो, एंड मॉडेस्टी द पोल जो उसको बांध के रखती है ना, मन जो है उसकी रस्सी है, उसके लगता है। एंड माइंडफुलनेस इज द गोड, जो इस डायरेक्शन में जाना है, किधर जाना है, किधर जाना है। सो यू कैन सी द एक्टनेस ऑफ द एग्जाम्पल। देन जो जैसे उसको बैलों को कहा जाता है ना इधर जाओ ना इधर जाओ, सीधा चलना है, तो सेम थिंग यू कैन सी bodily action is well guarded, speech is guarded, food is guarded, and truth, Satcham Karomi Niddhana, is a beautiful word here. The truth is the something which removes the weeds. जैसे खेत में weeds निकालने होते हैं ना, तो कहते हैं truth है जो weeds निकालेगी, मतलब जो unnecessary चीजें हो जाती है ना, which will destroy our crop. उन सबको हटाने के लिए truth is the means by which you can cut the hair. And सोरचम में प्रमोचनम, जो gentleness है वो मेरे को deliver कर देती है, मतलब that does not bind me. जैसे if I am angry, then I get, even momentarily, then I get kind of disturbed. But if I am gentle, that ensures that I don't get caught anywhere. वीर्य में धुरोधर्य, एफर्ट जो वीर्य जो पुरुषार्थ है हमारा, दैट इज द बीस्ट ऑफ बर्डन. जो खींच रहा सारी गाड़ी को, एफर्ट करेगा तो तभी आगे बढ़ेगा. युवो खेमम अति, व्हिच टेक्स मी टू द निब्बाना. दैट इज द रेस्ट ऑफ देम of the definitions. ज्ञान निब्बाना कैसी जगह, अनिवर्तनंतम, वहां से वापस आने की जरूरत नहीं. Nobody turns back without turning back. गंतवा न सोचती, जहाँ जाने के बाद कोई शोक नहीं होता. So this is the kind of flowing which bears the fruit of immortality. And by doing this flowing, one is freed from all the pain. So this is the response Buddha gave to the Kashi Bhartas. You can imagine what must have happened to him on listening to it. So the sutta continues further that when he listens, he is moved and he says, okay, a golden vessel may he brings food and say, please take it. He says, no, I cannot take this food because this you are giving in response to what I have spoken. It's not so. In the understanding of the enlightened ones, it is not taken because I have chanted some hymns and you give me food. Give food of your own volition, not because I have said so. Because ऐसे मैंने आपके लिए रखा दिया है तो किसको दूँ? So he says you can't give it to anybody. So you must throw it in some water or some tree because nobody else will be able to take it. तो देता है वो खीर को और पानी में डाल के बंद करने लगती है. So he gets frightened, ये क्या हो गया? So this food which has been offered, which you mentally offered to Buddha, nobody else can take. And then he becomes a disciple. The story goes that practicing, Kashi Bharadwaj becomes one of their friends. So that is this. I thought I'll extract out the relevant portion rather than start reading the rest of it.
वो आनंद की एब्सेंस कुछ पकड़ में आई क्या कर सकते?
हाँ, मतलब इन्फ्रेंस, नॉट किसी ने मतलब अथॉरिटी ने लिखा नहीं उस सेंस में, बट इन्फ्रेंस है क्लियर कि जो सुत्त निपात है इसमें कई वर्सेस ऐसे हैं जो भगवान भिक्षुओं को कहते थे रिसाइट करने को अपने सामने, जैसे रतन सुत्ता है और भी सुत्ता है. तो इनफैक्ट एक पूरा चैप्टर ऐसा है जो कि भिक्षु ने रिसाइट किया भगवान के सामने, तो वो सब लोग उसको कलेक्टिवली रिसाइट करते थे, तो इसलिए उसको उन्होंने एवं में सुतम कहने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ी किसी को. सो दैट दे सेड दे आर ऑथेंटिक, दे आर द अर्लीस्ट रिकॉर्ड ऑफ बुद्धा's thoughts. Because they were become so popular even while Buddha was alive that he used to ask them to recite again. So because of that reason, this word Evam Me Sutam has not been put because it has been heard by everybody.
So this is a collective of all such.
Not all. There are some in which Evam Me Sutam is also there. So it has some of the discourses which are the most ancient ones, जो कि बहुत पहले के और उसको उसकी ऑथेंटिसिटी को इसलिए किसी को डाउट नहीं है. काफी डिस्कोर्स ऐसे हैं इसमें जिसमें वो एवं में सुतम नहीं है, लेकिन कुछ ऐसे हैं जिनमें एवं में सुतम है. जैसे ये काशी भारद्वाज सुत्ता है ना, इसमें है एवं में सुतम. सो बट देयर आर अदर्स, जैसे नेक्स्ट है चुंद सुत्ता, पराभव सुत्ता, उसमें है एक में है एक में नहीं है. दिस वाज अ डिफरेंस इन द अदर्स. क्योंकि कुछ चीजें ऐसी हैं जो कि भगवान फिर लोगों को रिसाइट करने को कहते हैं. इनफैक्ट एक चैप्टर पूरा ऐसा है बताया, वो 17 जो है लास्ट 2 चैप्टर जो है ना, खासतौर पर पारायण सुत्ता चतुर्वग्गा और अथकवग्गा। ये अथकवग्गा ये 16 है। ये एक वो था वंगीस, उसको वो पूरा का पूरा याद, तो पूरा सुना जाता था। वो रिसाइट इन प्रेजेंस ऑफ बुद्धा ऑल ऑफ दैम। सेंस ऑफ प्लेजर क्या होती है, what are perfection, what is purity, what is decay. So all of them you decide. So these monks can listen to that. इस कारण से कई डिस्कोर्सेज में ये नहीं, क्योंकि कुछ में है, कुछ में नहीं। जो प्योरली वो है ना, जिसके अंदर या तो प्रोटेक्शन की बात है या डायरेक्ट एडवाइस की बात है भिक्षु को, जो कि रोज याद करने वाली चीजें, उनमें नहीं। अगला सूत्र जो है ना, चंद्र सूत्र, तो चंद्र ने पूछा कि मॉन्क्स कितने तरह के होते हैं, सो ही रिप्लाइड देयर आर 4 काइंड्स ऑफ मॉन्क्स। सो दैट मस्ट हैव बीन ए नॉलेज विद ऑल द मॉन्क्स की ये मॉन्क इस तरह के भी हो सकते हैं। सो देन दिस मस्ट हैव बीन क्वाइट ऑफन रिसाइटेड। पराभव सूत्र, वसल सूत्र, ये तो बहुत फेमस चीज़ है सारी। किस तरह से किसी का डाउनफॉल होता है, व्हाट इज हु इज एन आउटकास्ट। भगवान जाते हैं ना एक जगह, तो ब्राह्मण होता है, उसका भी नाम अग्नि का भारद्वाज, तो कुछ पूजा वूजा कर रहा होता है, तो वहाँ पे वो जाते हैं, तो उनको देख के कहता है इसमें आ गया गंजा। दे यूज्ड टू थिंक देम एज आउटकास्ट। तो ब्राह्मण थे ट्रेडिशनल, जो यज्ञ वगैरह करते थे, कहते इनका मुँह सुबह सुबह देख लिया तो नुकसान नहीं हुआ। कहते चंडाल निकल जाए यहाँ से, ये कहते बुद्धा। Then Buddha responds to him, do you know who is Buddha? Then he tells him. तो इस तरह की बहुत सुंदर दोनों ही हैं ना, पराभव सूत्र भी बहुत सुंदर है। ये तो हमको पाली वाले की क्लास में पढ़ाया था किस कारण से एक गृहस्थ का पराभव हो जाता है, how he goes into downfall, what are the things which lead to downfall. We'll see it next time.
And that is also in a verse form.
Yes,
It's
mostly verse, but Shivamova, thus I have heard and all that. And the Buddha speaks in verse forms. उसमें काफी ऐसे हैं जो वर्स फॉर्म में।
और ये कमेंट्री नहीं है, दैट्स दिस इज द ओरिजिनल।
इसकी कमेंट्री ट्रांसलेशन में अवेलेबल नहीं थी। कमेंट्री तो है, बट इट इज ऑल इन पाली। इट्स डिफिकल्ट फॉर मी टू एक्सट्रैक्ट करेक्टली, इतनी अच्छी पाली नहीं आती, मैं अर्थ का नर्थ कर दूंगा।
So we are at the chapter number 6, the marvelous moment.
ये पूरा हो गया था ऑन बीइंग अवेयर। या माइंड वाला शो मी योर माइंड।
So before starting with this chapter, for each chapter actually in the end, in the last paragraph or second last paragraph, I underlined something, so maybe I can just read out, and then we can start with the next chapter. So the first chapter is the age of anxiety, and the author says that paradox as it may seem, we likewise find life meaningful only when we have seen it without purpose. and know the mystery of universe only when we are convinced that we know nothing about it at all. So on page number 27. The middle paradox that as if nothing. So this line strike me that life meaningful only when you have seen it without purpose. So I think purpose here is more in worldly sense that we want to achieve something or materialistic purpose. And the next is on page
The
number.
very fact of death, makes it good. The very fact of death, if you see, makes the life without a real ultimate purpose, in that sense. And the fact of death creates a big mystery. पता ही नहीं क्या हो रहा है, कहाँ जा रहे हैं और कहाँ आ रहे हैं. That has been the kind of mystery which should always remain, I think.
Which will always remain.
Which will never be solved. तो बंदा मर के आए और बताए मैं यहाँ गया था. आए भी तो हम विश्वास कैसे करें? जो नियर डेथ एक्सपीरियंसेस वाले हैं क्या मालूम क्या बोल रहे हैं. हाँ मतलब
Can't always fully trust that.
you never know. We just hallucinate.
But there does seem to be a consistency, na Darshan, in all these so-called near-death experiences, which I'm told also in higher states of jhana also, I believe.
It depends on the kind of sankhara in which that person is lived. Depending on that, you see things of that kind.
So it's not consistent.
It's not exactly, but it's consistent in the sense that there is light, there is going ahead somewhere, and then sometimes you meet somebody, or sometimes somebody is there. तो जो हिंदू ट्रेडिशन वाले हैं वो कहेंगे वहाँ चित्रगुप्त बैठा था, वो कहेंगे वहाँ जीसस क्राइस्ट थे, कोई और थे. So you never know what is going on.
The next was on page number 38.
In fact, the Tibetan Book of the Dead, I believe that has a very long sort of.
So that's again their belief now.
अच्छा.
There's a Bardo state.
Exactly.
मैंने एक वो उनकी फिल्म देखी थी पूरी.
हाँ.
वीडियो पे है अवेलेबल. कि आदमी की डेथ हो जाती है तो वो क्या करते हैं उसको, डेथ और उसकी जो आत्मा है वो घूमती रहती है इधर उधर, and then this kind of exercise it. 40 days तक वो डेड बॉडी को वही रखते हैं. And then they hope कि वो शांत हो जाए, and then they should find a better place, and they pray. And obviously praying and all is good. There's no doubt about it. They pray and wish that person should find a good place of new birth and all that. So definitely be quite peaceful to the people who are left behind, and hopefully to the person who will depart.
Which is similar to the Maitri.
उनके पूरे रिचुअल हैं उस तरह के. So they are quite logical otherwise. But whether there is a Bardo state or not, according to Buddha, there's no such mention. There is a mention of a state. It is mentioned that there is a discourse, for example, in which it is mentioned the person immediately gets reborn.
But is that there, or is that more a Burmese interpretation of?
No, there is a story also. There is a discourse.
Immediacy वाला.
हाँ, एक है ना उसका प्रसन्नजीत जो थे, प्रसन्नजीत उनके बहुत फ्रेंड और डिसाइपल थे. उनकी वाइफ जो थी क्वीन मेलिका, शी वाज ए very great devotee. Even before Prasanjit, she was a devotee of Buddha. So when she dies, Prasanjit is quite upset and he comes and asks Buddha वो मेरी आज घर से चलता है, सोचता है वो आज मैं पूछूंगा कि कहाँ गई है, किस वेयर हैज शी गॉन इन नेक्स्ट. वो आता है भगवान देखते हैं, वो he does something and he forgets. So in this way for 7 days he keeps on forgetting. 8th day वो आके उसको याद रह जाता है. Then he asks, फिर हाँ वो तुझे देख लो. तो उसे then Ananda asks for something else, ask him later. अरे 7 दिन की पूछा क्यों नहीं इसने? So he tells me मैंने arranged it such a manner that he should forget, because Queen Malika was immediately born as a Treta. Why? So ये कैसे हो गया? She was such a great devotee and just some at the time of her death, she remembered a grossly inappropriate act she had done of some sexual misconduct, that too with an animal. मतलब not घर का जो कुत्ता था वो आ गया, वो some such things she did, and she was born in a Treta Loka for 7 days. Immediately. So that shows the immediacy. So 48 days कहाँ गए थे? जैसे वो बंदा ये तिब्बतन मानते हैं ना 40 दिन तक बार्डो है, तो बार्डो तो नहीं है ना. तो वो उस तरह का एक डिस्कोर्स है. इसी तरह वो एक और डिस्कोर्स है अनाथपिंडक डिस्कोर्स, हमने पढ़ा था. When Anathapindika dies, he is very ill. Then he requests his servant to go to Buddha and pay respect, and go to Sariputta and pay respect, and कि भाई सारिपुत्ता कहना कि he's visiting Anubhav. Then Sariputta and Ananda go there, and then he gives him a discourse after finally. General pleasantries are exchanged. तो डिस्कोर्स इतना प्रोफाउंड होता है तो उसके आंखों में आंसू आने लगते हैं. तो क्या बात? Are you thinking? No, I am wondering why did you not give such discourses to me earlier? I never heard such a profound discourse. But then Anand said that such discourses are normally not given to householders. This is why there are people with small dust in their eyes. You should give them. Please give them. So then after the discourse, he settled and they go. And he dies. And after he is dead, the same evening, he comes to Jetavana and pay respects. He is reborn as a Deva in Devaloka. And this discourse continues, says, in the evening, young Deva came and paid respects to Buddha and said something, and Buddha Nuvanumodan kiya. And the whole Jetavana was illuminated. This happened, they लोग आते हैं तो सारा में light हो गई है. तो फिर भगवान ने उनको अगले दिन सुबह डिस्कोर्स में बताया कि एक ऐसा वो आया था देवता और उसने ऐसा ऐसा कहा. तो आनंद उनको कहता हाँ, I can see guess who it is. कौन था? अनाथपिंडक. You guessed it rightly. It was अनाथपिंडक. So again, there's immediacy of the. So I don't know. Therefore, about this intermediate state, that I perceive that may be the case. For example, जैसे वो था मल्लिका का कि 7 दिन तक वो प्रेत योनि में रही, तो वो नहीं पता चलता होगा because they probably have that psychic powers to figure out ना. तिब्बतन में psychic powers काफी प्रैक्टिस की जाती है. So maybe they are able to figure out कि वो ये बंदा डेथ के बाद immediately नहीं हुआ. Maybe he's gone to Loka where they don't have access.
Psychically.
So they have access only in this domain. तो वो देखते हैं कि कोई कहाँ आता है, कोई कभी आता है, कोई कभी आता है. I'm just guessing. I can't figure out. But at least 2 discourses I remember in which Buddha mentions about radiate that ego. And according to Abhidhamma also it has to be. The stream of consciousness is flowing. The stream is flowing. Sankhara, Pachaya, Vijnana is happening every moment.
No question.
There's no question of suspension of Sankhara and Sankhara hanging around in the air. कि मैं कहाँ जाऊँ? It's not my effort which will take Sankhara somewhere. It will go automatically because of its momentum. तो उससे लगता नहीं कि ऐसा होगा. Respect their tradition. That's all I'm saying.
So Darshan, isn't this one of the questions that the Buddha says doesn't have an answer to? कुछ है ना ऐसे? ये वाला.
He says these questions are not relevant to you. Why are you discussing such things? They are not relevant to you. But he does mention in some discourse. ना? Indirectly तो mention कर ही दिया ना. मल्लिका के केस में, अनाथ पिंडक के केस में डायरेक्टली मेंशन कर दिया। अभी दोपहर बाद तो डेथ हुई थी और शाम को मिलने आ गया देवता के रूप में। तो मल्लिका के केस में कि 7 दिन तक वो मसनजीत को बुला दिया, अपने प्रश्न बुला दिया, just because we didn't want him to feel bad and all. हाँ जी, आपके पास
Page number 38. So the last line, we must look into life, into this life, this nature, which has become aware within us, and find out whether it is really in conflict with itself, whether it actually desires the security and painlessness which its individual forms can never enjoy. Again, the reference here is that this desire to seek security or painlessness or the happy state in this physical being, and that's the reference which.
Yeah, that is not the characteristic of consciousness. Life by life here he means consciousness. Consciousness does not need security. Consciousness does not seek painlessness. Ego seeks.
Ego.
That illusion seeks painlessness. Illusion seeks security.
That's how he makes the difference between the I and the me.
Look into this life. By life he means life principle, which is a Vedantic concept that life is present all over, that there is nothing else other than life, and that everything else is a play. So he takes it in that sense.
The next is on page number 53. Is the first paragraph, last line. This question. Almost every spiritual tradition recognizes that a point comes when two things must happen. Man must surrender his separate feeling I and must face the fact that he cannot know, that is, define the ultimate. That's the general sense we have. Then we have on the page number 73. The last lines. The brain can only assume its proper behavior when consciousness is doing what it is designed for, not writhing and whirling to get out of the present experience, but being Let me read it again. The brain can only assume its behavior when consciousness is doing what it is designed for, not writhing and wiggling to get out of present experience, but being effortlessly aware of it.
Consciousness is not what is doing the rolling and the video, isn't it?
Yes, I think दोनों सेंस में यूज करते हैं ना, एक सेंस में तो प्योर और एक सेंस में सेल्फ ही। ब्रेन की सेंस में कह रहा है ना, ब्रेन तो स्पेसिफिक ऑर्गन है। ब्रेन इज द ऑर्गन थ्रू विच apparently the consciousness is working.
And the last is on page number 87. Last lines. To understand joy or fear, you must be wholly and undividedly. 87. To understand joy or fear, you must be wholly and undividedly aware of it. So long as you are calling it names and saying, I am happy or I am afraid, you are not being aware of it. Fear, pain, sorrow, and boredom must remain problems if you do not understand them. But understanding requires a single and undivided mind. This, yeah. The sense I got was that many times in our thinking also we get into this loop that I'm this and that. So and I've also seen that probably coming out of those experiences, you can just try to shut your thinking and just be with the feelings which are there in the present thing.
टेंडेंसी रहती है ना, हर एवरी एक्सपीरियंस यू ट्राई टू relate to some experiencer. So,
and that is the force of habit, isn't it? That's it?
Basically, habit ही है. That's what it's a method of thinking which we have been told right from childhood. ना तुमको दर्द हो रहा है ना, तुमको पेन हो रहा है ना, तो वो फिर मुझको हो रहा है ना, मुझको। एक्चुअली बच्चे को, छोटे बच्चे को आप कैसे समझाओगे? So there is a limitation of language. So and there's an inbuilt, छोटा जो बच्चा पैदा होता है तो उसको आपको बताना पड़ेगा ना, ये इसका नाम है, इसको लड़का कहते हैं, तो उसकी संज्ञा पृष्ठभूमि करनी पड़ेगी ना। ये बच्चा है, ये अच्छा होता है, this is good, this is bad. You are supposed to tell the child. Otherwise, child has no idea what to do and what not to do, and that's where the problems begin. You can't do without it.
Because of the conventional.
Because he has chance to live in the conventional world. No?
It almost seems paradoxical,
Yeah.
no? That's not. It almost seems that you have to.
Because you are born in ignorance. No? You are born in ignorance, so you have to start from that point. Because there is no, you are born in a trap in this world. And therefore you have to first get trapped. And then come to know that there is a trap. And then think that you will, then hope that you will get out of the trap. There's a real paradox.
So without ending the trap, there is no way of.
Nobody can enter that. I mean, mythologically people say, even Buddha, Siddhartha entered the trap, got married and a child. Mythologically, India में कहा जाता है ना शुद्धदेव के बारे में कि he was born and he walked out of the womb. And he was born after conception for years. Those are stories, we don't know what is. They are actually stories meant to convey something.
But some people like personalities like Nanak.
They were born at the childhood itself, they had that feeling of,
Possibly they had not fully realized at the childhood and some later time in their teenage, but they had very fairly advanced in their knowledge or experiences.
Even from childhood, Buddha depicted that compassion and kindness, no? To be able to take on his cousin. स्वयं जो है मेरा, क्योंकि मैंने उसको प्रोटेक्ट किया फॉर अ चाइल्ड, इट्स ए बिग इशू.
किसी ने उसको बताया नहीं है, फिर भी
किसी ने बताया नहीं, एंड यू कैन थिंक लाइक दैट. तो सब पास्ट से कैरीड फॉरवर्ड तो होता ही है, बट स्टिल इग्नोरेंस इज देयर इन द चाइल्ड. उसको विकास संखारा जैसे उठेगा तो फिर वो सारी चीजें साफ कर देगा पास्ट. तो वो just by seeing the four sides, the Buddha is transformed. You can't stand and just, हम लोग तो रोज ही देखते रहते हैं. You keep on seeing it every day. So many who are near and dear ones are passed away. So many are old and suffering. So many are ill and suffering. Still, it doesn't have the same impact on us. Isn't it?
Oh, we are now to the next. So this is chapter 6. Do you want me to read through, Deepak, or do you want to do that?
We can read.
जो आप करते हो.
I have not noted down.
You are listening to a song. Suddenly I ask, at this moment, who are you? How will you answer this question immediately and spontaneously without stopping to find words? If the question does not shock you out of listening, you will answer by humming the song. If the question surprised you, you will answer, at this moment, who are you? But if you stop to think, you will try to tell me not about this moment but about the past. I shall get information about your name, address, your business and your personal history. But I asked who you are, not who you were. For to be aware of reality of the living present is to discover that at each moment the experience is all. There is nothing else beside it. No experience of you experiencing the experience. Even in our most apparently self-conscious moments, the self of which we are conscious is always some particular feeling or sensation of muscular tension, warmth or cold, of pain or irritation, of breath or of pulsing blood. There is never a sensation of what senses the sensations, just as there is no meaning or possibility in the of smelling one's nose or kissing one's own lips. In times of happiness and pleasure, we are usually ready enough to be aware of the moment and to let the experience be all. In such moments, we forget ourselves, and the mind makes no attempt to divide itself from itself, to be separate from experience. But the arrival of pain, whether physical or emotional, whether actual or anticipated, the split begins and the circle goes round and round.
Very apt observation. इस चैप्टर में बहुत profound observation. Trying to cut जो आई है वो fiction बनाया हुआ है, और वो that कहते हैं ना कि हमें अलग तक बात समझने नहीं आएगी, ये तो they're not investigating. If you investigate, you'll find that anatta is within that experience. There's no I. When you're enjoying, there's no notion of I am enjoying. There's that experience is there. But pain की ऐसी characteristic है कि वो you begin to react to it.
There is no difference between the thinker and the thought. When we meditate, when we say that we should observe our thought.
Yeah, that is the process. In that process, we are trying to say that there is a seer of the thought, But a time comes when it happens naturally. Seeing is happening. There is just seeing. There is seeing and there is no person who is seeing. But your mindfulness it transcends into pure awareness. सती पठान में से भी बात आती है धीरे धीरे करते 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 you come to a state where there is only mindfulness and knowledge of sense. ध्यान मिलता है सभी में mindfulness and knowledge. There is no knower, no notion of individual who is knowing कि क्या हो रहा है. The knowing is happening. So that is a state to experience like that.
It is very interesting that happiness may we are in fact
Immersed in the experience.
and therefore
There is no I. The moment you think I am happy, you are out of it. Happiness के स्कीम में कहाँ पे आई जाता है? Where you begin to feel कि खत्म कब हो जाएगा?
The fear of losing it.
खत्म होने वाला है. ये सॉन्ग खत्म हो गया, पिक्चर खत्म हो गई, आइसक्रीम खत्म हो गई, कुछ भी नहीं. और होती तो आई राइजेस और होती तो या पेट में दर्द हो रहा है यार, खाना तो बहुत अच्छा है, खाया नहीं जा रहा. So the I arises. The moment there is a reaction, I arise. Otherwise there is an experience.
so that experience is not so far from us actually.
Yeah. We are not investigating. No? We are not investigating into what we are doing in our life.
So, sir, one sense
Even
that
in a deep work, कोई आप काम ऐसा कर रहे हो बहुत इंटरेस्ट का है, I do not remain there. It's the knowledge and the world you are interacting with it. You're not there. You don't think कि मैं ये कर रहा हूँ. The moment you think, you are not working. You are out of it. यानी किसी भी काम में जो इंटेंसली काम करते हैं, without राग द्वेष, you are totally outside. There is no I who is working. There is the consciousness, there is the intellect, whatever it is, whatever किस मात्रा में है, उस मात्रा में काम हो रहा है. The moment we try to evaluate, अच्छा हो रहा है, बुरा हो रहा है, वैसे नहीं हो रहा, मैं बहुत अच्छा कर रहा हूँ, आएगा आएगा.
So what I was saying was that in the moments of pain, this thinking mind, when it becomes very strong and comes into loop, ये क्यों हो रहा है, ये नहीं होना चाहिए था, इस कारण से हो रहा है. So then just remaining with the experience of pain or suffering is the key to
Yeah, that's what he says. The first noble truth, the answer तो कहते हैं ना, understanding the experience. He says, stand under the experience. Simulate it and just be aware क्या हो रहा है, दर्द हो रहा है, पेन हो रहा है, बेचैनी हो रही है, ये हो रहा है, सांस फूल रहा है, ये हो, whatever it is, just be aware and see its nature. And then that calm awareness will reveal to you its cause. And then we'll move on to the removal of the cause. And then the four noble truths will start operating. Any experience of pain, if we can relate it to the first noble truth, तो उसकी जो sting है ना, काफी कम हो जाती है.
But there is no act of verbalization in that.
You're just being aware.
Just being aware of the
You're remembering, oh, I mean, usually pain आया you forget now. Then you remember, oh, I'm experiencing first noble truth. And the moment you get that thought, the whole response to the situation will change. You sit quietly and experience it. Isn't it? Whether it is physical or mental.
So there is one difference where Ajahn Sarvador says that there is suffering. It's not I am who's suffering.
That's it. There is experience of suffering to him.
But he is, so I in the sense of
to whom things are happening. Right.
This is
But then is it correct to say that I am the suffering at this moment rather than I
Well, the moment I am lost in it and take it personally, then I am. The moment I am not lost in it, I take it as a personal truth, there is suffering. There is a difference. दुख आर्य सत्य ये नहीं कहा गया कि यू आर सफरिंग दुख आर्य सत्य देयर इज सफरिंग ग्लोबल ट्रुथ ऑफ सफरिंग
there is no I in it.
नॉर्मली तो वो समझ में नहीं आता ना मुझे कहीं और तो फिर समझदार पूरा मैं बीमार हूँ ना क्या तो यू कांट आर्ग्यू ऑन दैट जरूरी थोड़ा कराएगा और वो कराएगा भी तो वो ऑटोमेटिक रिफ्लेक्स की तरह हो रहा है कि वो उसके डीपली हो रहा है उस पर डिपेंड करता है ऑब्जर्व इट ना ऑब्जर्व इट एक्सपीरियंस इट ऑब्जर्व इट एंड डोंट गेट इन्वॉल्व विद इट एज ए पर्सन ये सोचना कि मुझे हो रहा है ये मैं हूँ और जिसको सफरिंग हो रही है वो रखेंगे तो फिर वहीं उसी में फंसे रहेंगे तो उससे निकल ही नहीं सकते ना कभी हाँ उसका अनुभव तो है देयर इज एक्सपीरियंस है ना कभी कहा ना आई एम सफरिंग एंड देयर इज सफरिंग दोनों में डिफरेंस है ना देयर इज एन एक्सपीरियंस ऑफ सफरिंग अदर इज यू टेक इट पर्सनली मुझे हो रहा है तो फिर वो उससे निकलने की प्रयास जो है किसी और तरह से करूँगा उसको समझने की कोशिश नहीं करूँगा क्यों हो रहा है तो कभी समझ में आएगा जब शांत चित्त से उसका नहीं करेंगे प्रैक्टिस हो जाता है फिर वो तो पीछे रह गए ना फिर हम समझ नहीं रहे थे आपको ठीक से वहीं पे अटके रहेंगे तो फिर आगे निकल कैसे पाएंगे फिर तो वहीं घूमते रहेंगे ठीक है There is suffering, then it does not mean you don't go to doctor and attend to it. But it means that you do it as a matter of taking care of the body. That's all. The problem arises कि मैं मर रहा हूँ दुनिया पलट जाएगी हो गया वो हो गया ऐसा हो गया वैसा हो गया मेरा क्या होगा मेरे बच्चों का क्या होगा मैं मर जाऊंगा तो पता नहीं क्या हो जाएगा Those thoughts which arise out of pain and suppose one is dying. Okay. It's a fact of that. But you are not able to take it, na?
But only the suffering, when I am feeling pain.
Well, that's all right.
So, but I cannot think at that moment, suffering is
If I can't think, I have not practiced Dhamma well.
Even I think suffering is there. But still I am feeling pain,
so there is pain, that's okay. So what? Life में pain भी होगा, pleasure भी होगा. So if my understanding is strong, then only it will happen. If that prajna is strong, and I am not seeking pleasure all the time, then only it will happen. ऐसे थोड़ा हो जाएगा, ऐसे तो बहुत मुश्किल है. ऐसे तो आदमी बहेगा ही 99.99% तो होते हैं चाहते ही है ना, तो करेंगे ही नेचुरल है. लेकिन हम तो साधक कोशिश कर रहे हैं साधना करने की. साधना का उद्देश्य क्या है कि अपने मन को ऐसा साधना है कि वो सत्य के साथ अलाइन हो जाए.
जैसे आप मान लीजिए मैंने जान लिया कि दुख है ठीक है ये भी जान लिया कि ये मतलब मेरे लिए नहीं है लेकिन मैं पीड़ा को सहन कर रही हूँ ना तो इसका असर क्या होगा
मैं नहीं कर रहा ना पीड़ा हो रही है और पीड़ा हो रही है और उसका
शरीर में
कष्ट हो रहा है ठीक है
उससे वो कटेगा मतलब
आप इसको समता से देखेंगे ना अगर यूज दैट वर्ड उस अनुभव के होते हुए भी समता है उस अनुभव के होते हुए भी समता का भाव है ठीक है पेन है there is no reaction to it
And the reaction is the desire that it may go away.
The Buddha was hit by that stone जैसे पहाड़ से गिरा देव में उनका अंगूठा कट गया पेन तो था obviously जीवता told him कि बहुत दर्द हो रहा होगा बहुत पेन हो रहा है it's all right pain is there this is what he tells him it's okay pain is there ऐसे भी मैं दवाई लगाता हूँ हाथ लगा दो So he goes, gets some medicine, applies. But Jiva is crying. Buddha is sitting so quietly. Jao, leke aao, karo. That's the difference. No? That those things are meant to show us the movement from one end to the other end. From one shore to the other. That Buddha's life is a example of how to live. The life of all great arahants, the way they lived, आप पढ़े उनको तो सबसे पालन करते हैं कैसे जीते हैं सारे कुत्ता ये absolutely equanimous in their moment of death.
Community है इसलिए they can bear the pain or they don't feel pain.
They means how they can bear the pain. It's another equanimity. Bear means what? ऐसे थोड़ा ना pain नहीं होगा.
हाँ मैं ठीक कह रहा हूँ.
पेन तो होगा ही. Buddha didn't say कि नहीं मुझे कोई पेन नहीं हो रहा. ये हमारी गलत फहमी है कि वेदना नहीं होगी. ऐसा थोड़ा है. वेदना का मतलब कि थोड़ा फिजिकल पेन नहीं होगा. उसका इम्पैक्ट माइंड पे नहीं होगा. अनप्लीजेंट तो होगी भाई. जब उसका पाँव कट रहा है तो अनप्लीजेंट फील होगी. बुद्धा himself says in another case there is a lot of pain in my back. एक डिस्कोर्स है जिसमें भगवान डिस्कोर्स दे रहे हैं तो ऊपर बीच में रुक जाते हैं सारे कुत्ता में लॉट ऑफ पेन इन माय बैक आई एम लाइंग डाउन यू कंटिन्यू ही लाइज डाउन एंड सारे कुत्ता कंटिन्यूस बेसिकली ऐसा थोड़ा है कि वो नहीं बैठ सकते थे बगैर जबरदस्ती करते हैं यू हैव टू टेक ए मेंटल पोजीशन एंड द पेन वुड हैव गॉन ही डिडंट मेक व्हाई ही डिडंट वांट टू शो ऑफ कि ये हर आदमी साथ टीचर को ऐसे he always used to say that I do things mostly for lok sangrah कि लोग ये सोचेंगे कि भाई जो एनलाइटेंड आदमी है उसको पेन ही नहीं होगा ये क्या बात हुई when he wanted जैसे जब वो बहुत बीमार हो गए and under start crying इतनी dysentery हो गई ये हो गई die तो मैं सोचा नहीं ऐसा नहीं होता enlightened one does not die out of causes to decide on the time he applied mind force and he recovered fully and then after some time he told Ananda कि 3 महीने बाद I leave this world. After getting well, then he tells him, okay, after 3 months, enough is enough. Oh, story goes, Mars comes in, सारे तुम्हारे शिष्य अच्छे हो गए और क्या कर रहे हो यहाँ बैठे बैठे तुमने कहा था चले जाओ कहाँ जा चिंता स्टोरी गोज है ना बीच बीच में आता रहता है ना एपिसोड देयर आर डिस्कोर्सेस वेयर ही कम्स अगेन वेयर ही है होल्डिंग ऑन टू लाइफ धर्मा इज नॉट फुली एस्टैब्लिश्ड नेक्स्ट टाइम अभी कुछ साधक मेरे परफेक्ट नहीं हुए अब तो सब कुछ हो गया so that is the extent to which one can be disidentified with the process of living itself, leave aside body and other things.
As soon as it becomes clear that I cannot possibly escape from the reality of the present, since I is nothing other than what I know now, this inner turmoil must stop. No possibility remains but to be aware of pain, fear, boredom or grief in the same complete way that one is aware of pleasure. The human organism has the most wonderful powers of adaptation to both physical and psychological pain. But these can only come into full play when the pain is not being constantly re-stimulated by this inner effort to get away from it, to separate the I from the feeling. The effort creates a state of tension in which the body thrives. But when the tension ceases, mind and body begin to absorb the pain as water reacts to a blow or a cut.
His analogy is given. We read next, that will be even better.
There is another story of a Chinese sage who was asked, "How shall we escape the heat?" Meaning, of course, the heat of suffering. He answered, "Go right into the middle of the fire. But how then shall we escape the scorching flame?" No further pain will trouble you. We do not need to go as far as China. The same idea comes in the Divine Comedy, where Dante and Virgil find that the way out of hell lies at its very center. In moments of great joy, we do not, as a rule, stop to think, I am happy, or this is joy. Ordinarily, we do not pause to think thoughts of this kind until the joy is past its peak, or unless there is some anxiety that it will go away. At such times, we are so aware of the moment that no attempt is made to compare its experience with other experiences. For this reason, we do not name it. For names which are not mere exclamations are based on comparisons. Joy is distinguished from sorrow by contrast, by comparing one state of mind to another. Had we never known joy, it would be impossible to identify sorrow as sorrow. But in reality, we cannot compare joy with sorrow. Comparison is possible only by the very rapid alteration of the two states of mind, and you cannot switch back and forth between the genuine feelings of joy and sorrow as you can shift your eyes between a cat and a dog. Sorrow can only be compared with the memory of joy, which is not at all the same thing as joy itself. Like words, memories never really succeed in catching reality. Memories are somewhat abstract, being a knowledge about things rather than of things. Memory never captures the essence, the present intensity, the concrete reality of an experience. It is, as it were, the corpse of an experience from which life has vanished. What we know by memory, we know only second hand. Memories are dead because fixed. The memory of your deceased grandmother can only repeat what your grandmother was, but the real present grandmother could always do or say something new, and you were never absolutely sure what she would do next. There are then two ways of understanding an experience. The first is to compare it with the memories of other experiences and so to name and define it. This is to interpret it in accordance with the dead and the past. The second is to be aware of it as it is, as when in the intensity of joy we forget the past and the future. Let the present be all, and thus do not even stop to think, I am happy. Both ways of understanding have their uses, but they correspond to a difference between knowing a thing by words and knowing it immediately. A menu is very useful, but it is no substitute for the dinner. A guidebook is an admirable tool, but it is hardly to be compared with the country it describes. The point, then, is that when we try to understand the present by comparing it with memories, we do not understand it as deeply as when we are aware of it without comparison. This, however, is usually the way in which we approach unpleasant experiences. Instead of being aware of them as they are, we try to deal with them in terms of the past. The frightened or the lonely person begins to at once think, I am afraid or I am so lonely. This is, of course, an attempt to avoid the experience. We don't want to be aware of this present, but we cannot get out of the present, only our escape into. But as we cannot get out of the present, our only escape is into memories. Here we feel on safe ground, for the past is fixed and the known, but also, of course, the dead. Thus, to try to get out of, say, fear, we endeavor at once to be separate from it and fix it by interpreting it in terms of memory, in terms of what is already fixed and known. In other words, we try to adapt ourselves to the mysterious present by comparing it with the remembered past, by naming and identifying it. This would all be very well if you were trying to get away from something from which you can get away. It is a useful process for knowing when to come in out of the rain. But it does not tell you how to live with things from which you cannot get away, which are already a part of yourself. Your body does not eliminate poisons by knowing their names. To try to control fear or depression or boredom by calling them names is to resort to superstition of trust in curses and invocations. It is so easy to see why this does not work. Obviously, we try to know, name, and define fear in order to make it objective. That is separate from I. But why are we trying to separate? But why are we trying to separate from fear? Because we are afraid. In other words, fear is trying to separate itself from fear, as if one could fight fire with fire. And that is not all. The more we accustom ourselves to understanding the present in terms of memory, the unknown by the known, the living by the dead, the more desiccated and embalmed, the more joyless and frustrated life becomes. So protected from life, man becomes a sort of a mollusk encrusted in a hard shell of tradition, so that when at last reality breaks through, as it must, the tide of pent-up fear runs wild. If, on the other hand, you are aware of fear, you realize that because this feeling is now yourself, escape is impossible. You see that calling it fear tells you little or nothing about it, for the comparison and the naming is based not on past experience but on memory. You have then no choice but to be aware of it, with your whole being as an entirely new experience. Indeed, every experience is in this sense new, and at every moment of our lives, we are in the midst of the new and the unknown. At this point, you receive the experience without resisting it or naming it, and the whole sense of conflict between I and the present reality vanishes.
This is the crux of the process. Basically, just experiencing. One of the hमारी familiarity with the past, we try to name it and then don't experience it fully. नाम ही मालूम है ऐसा. So the experience is brushed aside.
For most of us, this conflict is ever gnawing within us because our lives are one long effort to resist the unknown, the real present in which we live, which is the unknown in the midst of coming into being. Living thus, we never really learn to live with it. At every moment, we are cautious, hesitant, and on the defensive. And all to no avail, for life thrusts us into the unknown willy-nilly, and resistance is as futile and exasperating as trying to swim against a roaring torrent. The art of living in this predicament is neither careless drifting on the one hand, nor fearful clinging to the past and the known on the other. It consists in being completely sensitive to each moment, in regarding it as utterly new and unique, in having the mind open and wholly receptive. This is not a philosophical theory, but an experiment. One has to make the experiment to understand that it brings into play altogether new powers of adaptation to life, of literally absorbing pain and insecurity. It is as hard to describe how this absorption works as to explain the beating of one's heart or the formation of genes. The open mind does this as most of us do, without being able to explain it at all. The principle of the thing is clearly something like judo. The gentle ju, way, that is do, of mastering an opposing force by giving into it. The natural world gives us many examples of the great effectiveness of this way. The Chinese philosophy of which judo itself is an expression, Taoism, drew attention to the power of water to overcome all obstacles by its gentleness and pliability.
It's very interesting. पानी जब बहता है तो कुछ भी कर लो, वो बहते ही रहेगा, तो कुछ भी करके देख लो। नदी को आप रोक नहीं सकते, डैम लगा दो, बढ़ता जाएगा बढ़ता जाएगा बढ़ता जाएगा, फिर उसको और कम निकल जाएगा, रुक नहीं सकेगा, रोक नहीं पाते आप नदी को बिल्कुल कभी भी। कितना भी बड़ा जलाशय बना लो, वो भरी रहेगी, उसको आज नहीं तो साल भर में, और फिर बह जाएगी बाहर। कितनी रॉक्स डाल दो, कितने कुछ कर दो, इधर से निकल जाएगा, इधर से निकल जाएगा, ऊपर से नहीं निकल पाया तो साइड से निकल जाएगा। So that's a very powerful example, you know, simile of living in pliability and adjustment and adaptation and gentleness. किसी को कुछ चोट वोट नहीं पहुंचाती पानी, किसी को पत्थर भी डालोगे तो साइड से निकल जाएगा, धीरे 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 घिस के आपको स्मूथ कर देगी। It's a beautiful thing. Water gives you देखो, अगर कभी देखा होगा नदी में जहाँ 5 पत्थर धीरे 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 गोल हो जाते हैं, तो तगड़ हो जाते हैं, सालों लग जाएंगे ऐसे, अपना काम करता रहेगा।
So I'll read the last one again. The natural world gives us many examples of the great effectiveness of this way. The Chinese philosophy of self is an expression, Taoism, drew attention to the power of water to overcome all obstacles by its gentleness and pliability. It showed how the supple willow survives the tough pine in a snowstorm. For whereas the unyielding branches of the pine accumulate snow until they crack, the springy boughs of the willow bend under its weight, drop the snow, and then jump back again.
A very beautiful example.
If when swimming you are caught in a strong current, it is fatal to resist. You must swim with it and gradually edge to the side. One who falls from a height with stiff limbs will break them. But if he relaxes like a cat, he will fall safely. A building without give in its structure will easily collapse in a storm or an earthquake, and a car without the cushion of tires and springs will soon come apart on the road.
इसलिए जो
Beautiful examples, very beautiful example.
Pauline का जो example है, that is true for babies. How to think that baby fall on the first floor. कुछ नहीं होता, उसको पता ही नहीं कि क्या हो रहा है, मैं गिर रहा हूँ।
The mind has just the same powers, for it has give and can absorb shocks like water or a cushion. But this giving way to an opposing force is not at all the same thing as running away. A body of water does not run away when you push it. It simply gives at the point of the push and encloses your hand. A shock absorber does not fall down like a bowling pin when struck. It gives and yet stays in the same place. To run away is the only defense of something rigid against an overwhelming force. Therefore, the good shock absorber has not only give but also stability or weight.
Very powerful.
So, ठहराव की भी उसमें
Very powerful example.
in the moment you bend if necessary.
ये विलो वाला ट्री है ना, इसकी एग्जाम्पल बहुत बढ़िया। एंड कंपैरिजन विद पाइन, पाइन तो स्ट्रांग होता है ना, तो उसको वो बेंड नहीं होता इतने आराम से। और विलो जो है जिससे बैट बंदे क्रिकेट के, वो ये चलता रहता है, जो एक स्प्रिंगीनेस है। जो बिल्डिंग है आपकी, जो अर्थ पे रेजिस्टेंस कैसे बनाते हैं, उसमें नीचे स्प्रिंगीनेस डाल देते हैं या वुड बना देंगे। वुड की अपनी जनरल टेंडेंसी होती है ऐसे, वो मुड़ेगी और सीधी हो जाएगी। मुझे अच्छी तरह याद है, बचपन में कश्मीर में एक बार था, स्क्वेयर आया, हम इस बिल्डिंग में थे, ऐसे दो वहाँ पे ऐसे बिल्डिंग होती है, पूरा स्क्वायर होता है बीच में और बिल्डिंग होगी पूरे फैमिली की, पूरा मतलब कुटुंब की। तो ऐसी दो बिल्डिंग थी, यहाँ पे मैं यहाँ के टॉप फ्लोर पे, यहाँ पे जब अर्थक्वेक आया वो ऐसे हुआ, यहाँ उतनी इंटेंसिटी का आया जो सारा तहस नहस हो जाएगा, बिकॉज देयर इज नो स्प्रिंगीनेस इन द कंस्ट्रक्शन। और जापान में इतने अर्थक्वेक आते हैं, आपने कभी सुना है बिल्डिंग गिर रही 6-7 तक के आते हैं, कुछ नहीं फर्क पड़ता, जो डिजाइन इट इन सच ए मैनर तो उसमें स्प्रिंगीनेस रहती है बिल्डिंग में, तो यील्ड कर जाती है फिर आ जाती है। यू डोंट यील्ड व्हेन यू आर फिनिश्ड, because the force of earthquake is too strong. Either you yield or you are done with it.
So that's how give a now bring this to conventional life and
See that easily. Pain, for example, let us say, just experience it and don't resist it, and that calmness will give insight into how what to do next. The insight with calmness will firstly reduce जो भगवान का है ना, दो तीर, एक तीर तो लग ही गया भाई तुम्हारे, एक तीर लग गया, वूंड हो गया, अब दूसरा तुम तीर अपनी तरफ से मेंटर लगा रहे हो उस पर, उसको मारे जा रहे हो, ये क्यों हो गया, मुझे क्यों हो गया, मेरे को नहीं होना चाहिए था, सारी दुनिया में किसी को नहीं हुआ, मुझे ही होता है, सब कुछ मेरे साथ ही खराब होता है, मुझे ही लोग परेशान, यू आर क्रिएटिंग, दिस इज लाइक हिटिंग अनदर रो एरो ऑन यू, and if you are hitting another arrow, there is no possibility of removing the first arrow whatsoever. If you experience the pain and let it be there, then you calm down, then you can visualize क्या करना चाहिए.
so that is the gift.
Yeah. You accept it, that there is pain. You're not protesting against it. You're not kind of
rigidity क्या है वैसे?
that you don't want to yield down to it. No? You don't want to accept it. The non-acceptance will be a kind of rigidity. You want that it should remain the way it is. Rigidity का मतलब ये होगा ना कि चीज नहीं अपनी जगह से बदले ना, जैसा है वैसा ही रहे। जब किसी का एक हाथ कट गया, you can either give in to it, or he can be crying rest of his life. There are people उनके दोनों हाथ, दोनों पाँव कटे हुए हैं, और वो मुंह से पेंटिंग कर रहे हैं, वहाँ पर पेंटिंग रखी हुई है, हाथ कटे हुए दोनों, फुट से करते हैं या मुंह से करते हैं, दोनों पाँव भी कटा हुआ, मुंह से करके बस पेंटिंग करते हैं, पेंटिंग बनाते हैं, फिर बेचते हैं और देखने दे रहे हैं, दी नहीं मांगे। That's accepting it and finding a solution to the situation. तो उन लोगों ने मिलकर अपनी पूरी सोसाइटी बना रखी है, फुट एंड माउथ आर्टिस्ट, there are many more people who just would prefer to commit suicide rather than take that situation or become a crip over their life. जो अमेरिका में टीचर थे ना, टीचर रामदास नाम से, आपने सुना होगा नाम, उसको अभी कुछ 15 साल पहले, 10 साल पहले एक स्ट्रोक हो गया, पैरालाइज हो गया, तो then he accepted it gracefully. जैसे वो राइटर भी है ना, उसने अब वो लिख भी नहीं सकता, तो एक बंदे को उसने ओरली बोला, बोलने में भी थोड़ी दिक्कत थी, अब धीरे धीरे बोल रहा है, तो बुक लिखी उसको, फियरी ग्रेस, फियरी ग्रेस, फियरी मतलब जो भयंकर, भयंकर ग्रेस। अभी हाल ही में उसका एफर्ट का कंबाइंड सेशन नेट
YouTube में।
Sure. They are both together sitting and answering questions. तो उसको बोलने में कोई दिक्कत होती है, धीरे धीरे बोलता है, बट same agility, same, and accepted है कि मुझे उस पे व्हील चेयर पे हूँ तो हूँ, और वहाँ तो कोई हेल्प नहीं है तो उसके फ्रेंड ही आके उसकी, because he can't afford that much कि वो उस पे रहे, so that shows the acceptance, deeply influenced by that fact, acceptance of that reality, and yielding to it and treating it as a grace. See, stroke you are, you found it.
Accepting it and
Extremely difficult.
accepting is one thing. Taking it as a grace is taking it on next level.
Absolutely amazing. Then you know what he says. लोगों को ज़्यादा ही बोलने लग गया, ज़्यादा ही लिखने लग गया. And here of course that faith in his teacher, ना वो जो नीम करोली बाबा. So he sees it as a grace. Because नीम करोली बाबा खुद भी fiery teacher थे ना. He was a very fiery person. That's a remarkable way of acceptance. बनारस चाहिए तो दो ग्रीन टी, तीन ब्लू येलो व्हाइट टी, दो ग्रीन और तीन येलो, नहीं क्या कहेंगे उसको, येलो व्हाइट जो भी कह रहे.
The mind has just the same powers.
आज कोई है? Nobody is there. Nobody is there.
The mind has just the same powers, for it has give and can absorb shocks like water or a cushion. But this giving way to an opposing force is not at all the same as running away. A body of water does not run away when you push at it. It simply gives at the point of push and encloses your hand. A shock absorber does not fall down like a bowling pin when stuck. It gives and yet stays in the same place. To run away is the only defense of something rigid against an overwhelming force. Therefore, the good shock absorber has not only give but also stability or weight. This weight is likewise a function of the mind and appears in the same much misunderstood phenomena of laziness. Significantly enough, nervous and frustrated people are always busy, even in being idle, such idleness being the laziness of fear and not rest. But
well, they are busy in being afraid. That's what it means. And therefore they are not doing anything.
But the mind-body is a system which conserves and accumulates energy. While doing this, it is properly lazy. When the energy is stored, it is just as happy to move and yet to move skillfully along the line of least resistance. Thus it is not only necessity but also laziness which is the mother of invention. One may observe the unhurried, heavy movements of a skillful laborer at some hard task. And even in going against gravity, the good mountaineer uses gravity, taking slow, heavy strides. He seems to pack up the snow like a sailboat against the wind.
Sailboat is another example which is used to illustrate this principle of adjusting to the nature. वो मेहनत नहीं करनी है, तो विंड सेल को ऐसे एडजस्ट कर देता है कि हवा से ही चलते रहती है. और दूसरा है कि वो विंड कहता मैं तो नहीं चलाऊंगा, तो लड़ाई करूंगा और खींच के ले जाऊंगा अपोजिट डायरेक्शन में, और वो उसको एडजस्ट कर देता है, ऐसे घूम के निकल जाता है. Next two paragraphs are very good. I get them and then you can.
In the light of these principles, how mind absorbs something? It discovers that resistance and escape, the I process, is a false mean. The pain is inescapable, and resistance as a defense only makes it worse. The whole system is jarred by the shock. Seeing the impossibility of this course, it must act according to its nature. remain stable and absorb. To remain stable is to refrain from trying to separate yourself from a pain because you know that you cannot. Running away from fear is fear. Fighting pain is pain. Trying to be brave is being scared.
See that. Reflect upon that. It's very powerful step.
If the mind is in pain, the mind is in pain. The thinker has no other form than the thoughts. There is no escape. But so long as you are not aware of the inseparability of thinker and thought, you will try to escape. From this follows quite naturally absorption. It is no effort. The mind does it by itself. Seeing that there is no escape from the pain, the mind yields to it, absorbs it, and becomes conscious of just pain without any I feeling it or resisting it. It experiences pain in the same complete unself-conscious way in which it experiences pleasure. Pain is the nature of the present moment, and I can only live in this moment. Sometimes when resistance ceases, the pain simply goes away or dwindles to a easily tolerable ache. At other times it remains, but the absence of any resistance brings about a way of feeling pain so unfamiliar as to be hard to describe. The pain is no longer problematic. I feel it, but there is no urge to get rid of it, for I have discovered that pain and the effort to be separate from it are the same thing. Wanting to get out of pain is the pain, and it is not the reaction of an I distinct from the pain. When you discover this, the desire to escape merges into the pain itself and vanishes. Discounting aspirin for the moment, you cannot remove your head from a headache as you can remove your hand from a flame. U equals head equals ache. When you actually see that you are the pain, pain ceases to be a motive, for there is no one to be moved. It becomes, in the true sense, of no consequence. It hurts, period. This, however, is not an experiment to be held in reserve as a trick for moments of crisis. It is a way of life. It means being aware, alert, and sensitive to the present moment always, in all actions and relations whatsoever, beginning at this instant. This, in turn, depends upon seeing that you really have no choice but to be aware, because you cannot separate yourself from the present and you cannot define it. You can indeed refuse to admit this, but only at the cost of immense and futile effort of spending your whole life resisting the inevitable.
Green door, green after yoga.
Once this is understood, it is really absurd to say that there is a choice or an alternative between these two ways of life. Between resisting the stream in fruitless panic and having one's eyes open to a new world, transformed and ever new with wonder. The key is understanding.
That is it. Yeah, this is what we miss most of the time. Okay, see? Going to Silas? I cannot do. Are you driving? You are driving? You cannot listen to anything will mean na jaye. Relax.
अच्छा
क्या हमारी टीचर है ना वो
अच्छा मुझे
So for mind go जाता है quiet thing. It can induce sleep if you're
I see.
cool living. You write so well, you know. You use words so apt and analogies so
In simple.
simple words. कोई word भी complicated नहीं है, but
I find it easier to absorb compared to Tole. मेरी
हाँ.
comparison चल रही थी.
yeah, because his words are simple and he makes it extremely simple. Tole operates at a
Slightly.
slightly at a higher level.
मतलब कृष्णमूर्ति साहब तो कहीं और भी अपने
हाँ बिल्कुल
जैसा.
इसलिए तो काफी पेशेंस चाहिए. You need to reflect on it.
केवल लहजा है बाकी तो
हाँ
सब
नहीं, वो ये है ना the ability to see
दूसरा कहाँ है.
to दूसरा
So other person's ability and teacher is like.
So जैसे कहा जाता है बच्चे एक बुद्धा है, they cannot teach this see self enlightenment, but still he is not in a position to teach to others because he can't figure it out. वो explain कर देते हैं, उसकी उतनी पार भी नहीं है तो वो explain नहीं कर सकता. He doesn't teach to others.
Sometimes resistance ceases, the pain simply goes away or dwindles to an easily tolerable ache. At other times, it remains, but the absence of any resistance brings about a way of feeling pain so unfamiliar as to be hard to describe. The pain is no longer problematic. I feel it, but there is no urge to get rid of it, for I have discovered that pain and the effort to be separate from it are the same thing. Wanting to get out of pain is the pain. It is not the reaction of an I distinct from pain. When you discover this, the desire to escape merges into pain itself and vanishes. Have you gone through this?
You cannot move your head out of headache.
Aspirin कर रहा था.
You have to feel understand.
Yeah, but please understand that. To ask how to do this, what is the technique or method, what are the steps and the rules, is to miss the point utterly. Methods are for creating things where they do not yet exist. We are concerned here with understanding something which is the present moment. This is not a psychological or a spiritual discipline for self-improvement. It is simply being aware of this present experience and realizing that you can neither define it nor define yourself from it. There is no rule book. There is no rule but look. It is no more poetic statement to say that with the mind thus open, we look into a new world, as new as in the first day of creation, when the morning stars sang together and all the sons of God shouted for joy. By trying to understand everything in terms of memory, the past and words, we have, as it were, had our own noises in the guidebook, had our own noses in the guidebook for most of our lives, and have never looked at the view. Whitehead's criticism of traditional education is applicable to our whole way of living. We are too exclusively bookish in our scholastic routine. In the Garden of Eden, Adam saw the animals before he named them. In the traditional system, children name the animals before they saw them.
थोड़ी इंग्लिश पढ़ा देते हैं बाद में
फोटो दिखा देंगे किताब में ये
ये सब को मैं देखता हूँ बेटी का कि एक उसमें कम्युनिटी में हॉस्पिटल होता है, एक पोस्ट ऑफिस होता है, एक मिल्क बूथ होता है, तो सब पता चल जाएगा नॉट वाले चीज.
In the widest sense of the word, to name is to interpret experience by the past, to translate it into terms of memory, to bind the unknown into the system of the known. Civilized man knows of hardly any other way of understanding things. Everybody, everything has to have its label, its number, certificate, registration, classification. What is not classified is irregular, unpredictable, and dangerous. Without passport, birth certificate, or membership in some nation, one's existence is not recognized. If you do not agree with the capitalists, they call you a communist and vice versa. A person who agrees with neither point of view is fast becoming unintelligible. That there is a way of looking at life apart from all conceptions, beliefs, opinions, and theories is the remotest of all possibilities from the modern mind. If such a point of view exists, it can only be in the vacant brain of a moron. We suffer from the delusion that the entire universe is held in order by the categories of human thought, fearing that if we do not hold to them with the utmost tenacity, everything will vanish into chaos. We must repeat. Memory, thought, language, and logic are essential to human life. They are one half of sanity. But a person or society which is only half sane is insane. To look at life without words is not to lose the ability to form words, to think, to remember, and plan. To be silent is not to lose your tongue. On the contrary, it is only through silence that one can discover something new to talk about. One who talked incessantly without stopping to look and listen would repeat himself ad nauseam. It is the same thing with thinking, which is really silent talking. It is not by itself open to the discovery of anything new, for its only novelties are simply rearrangement of old words and ideas. There was a time when language was constantly being enriched by new words, a time when men like Adam saw things before they named them. Today almost all new words and are rearrangements of old words, for we are no longer thinking creatively. By this I do not mean that we ought all to be popping with inventions and revolutionary discoveries. That is the always rare power of people who can both see the unknown and interpret it. For most of us, the other half of sanity lies simply in seeing and enjoying the unknown. Just as we can enjoy music without knowing either how it is written or how the body hears it. Certainly, the revolutionary thinker must go beyond thought. He knows that almost all his best ideas come to him when thinking has stopped. He may have struggled to understand a problem in terms of old ways of thinking, only to find it impossible. But when thought stops from exhaustion, the mind is open to see the problem as it is, not as it is verbalized, and at once it is understood.
You can stop. And then Deepak will summarize it. We'll base a conclusion to the page. It's a very powerful chapter.